morning, no, afternoon. So today we're on our second day of the weekend, getting out and enjoying this absolutely unprecedented warm spell that seems to have followed all the snow we have more recently. It was about 17 degrees in the car when we set off, hence you can see I've basically taken off all my winter layers and wishing I had packed a vest top. Oh well. And I haven't even got my trousers that turn into shorts today, so it's going to be a warm one.
Haven't got lunch either, don't you?
And also, yeah, I also managed to make lunch but forgot to pack it. I'm going to blame COVID brain fog for that. Having come out of our COVID isolation, we've celebrated our freedom with some hiking this weekend, because you can't not when this weather is so glorious. But as you can see, we're heading up to Meall Chuaich, which is up ahead of us, which Wolf is focusing on now. Very, very minimal snow left on this one. It's about 950 or 951, something like that. So fairly low Munro anyway, but just the snow is melting away at significant pace in all this warmth. But yeah, it should be a fairly easy one. We're out on an easy track, pretty much following this river now up until just below the base of the hill. And then you can see as we go up the hill, we'll go over the first one of the first summits. So there's only two on this one, thankfully. Fairly easy gradient and fairly easy track. I don't think it's going to be particularly challenging today, on the back of doing 2 Munros yesterday, so probably for the best, testing out our post-COVID fitness.
And critically, Munro number 63 for Pippets.
Yeah, 63, keeping ahead of Dookie just by 1, although I think he's going to overtake me soon. That's probably one of the main motivating factors for getting out today, and choosing just the one remaining hill in Drumochter, which is probably the easiest one for us to get to at about an hour and 25-ish minutes travel time. So probably one of our closest Munros left that we have to do. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go. We're part of the way up now, from the walker's path apparently, which I think is this trail that just heads off here. Just very warm today, so we're just taking it nice and easy, making sure we're really hydrated, because I definitely dehydrated myself yesterday on the hike, just not drinking enough on the way up, which is when you're really exerting in terms of the sun. So beautiful conditions though, the breeze is gentle, which is quite nice, especially when you stop to take in the views. But it's a fairly easy path. I'm actually in trainers because I'm having some issues with my boots at the moment and my ankle, so I'm trying to get as far as I can in my trainers, but the path's fairly easy. It's just a couple of boggy patches to avoid on the way up, but hoping I'll make it most of the way, if not all the way, with my trainers on. At least that'll make it a little bit more comfortable today. But still not donned my t-shirt, still too warm for that, but it's a bit hazy around, but some lovely views on our way up, and we're just, I think, below the first of today's 2 summits before we reach the top.
Not too far to go now, Pips.
Yeah, I'm starting to regret that forgetful moment of not packing snacks, food, but luckily it's only a fairly steady incline to the top. We've just got to make it to the top, right? Legs will carry us back down.
And then gravity will take you down.
Oh god. Gentle breeze kicking in now, which is nice because it's
Beautiful temperature up here.
the warmth just takes away that edge. But not a bad pace. Just stopping to enjoy the views and get a bit of a rest before we plough on up to the summit, which is somewhere up there among that mass. So we've got it to the top. We made it despite our depleting energy resources. So this is number 63 for me, Meall Chuaich, and number 90 for Wolf. So sitting at around 951 meters. This one is a fairly standalone, not hugely sort of outstanding summit in terms of its scenery, but this cairn is probably one of the biggest I've seen actually. We'll get a capture of it later on in the video, but we've got some cracking views over to the Cairngorm plateau behind me, which, you know, usually hold on to the snow for probably the longest, but you can see even they've suffered some of the heat exposure and some serious snow melt, but just a huge mass of area, and some of the biggest mountains in Scotland collected over there, which I think you've got the likes of Ben Macdui, Ken Toole, just an incredible area. I haven't gone there yet, so they're definitely on the list, but probably wait for some of the snow to disappear, maybe try and do some of those as a running round later on in the summer, and probably with a bit of camping as well. But yeah, just pleased to be up here despite having no lunch. I'll be very grateful for our takeaway later on. So let's just focus on enjoying the summit for a bit before we head back down.
So Pippets, how do you feel on your 63rd Munro?
Well, pretty pleased to have done it off the back of 2 Munros yesterday, especially on the recovery from COVID. So yeah, it was the only thing that was a bit challenging was the lack of food to keep us energized going up the hill, but it's good to know that we can pull off a relatively easy Munro hike that's not too far in distance, not too long a day. We've done most of the descent now and just stopping off, well, firstly to fill our water bottles up to rehydrate, but now I'm just taking the opportunity to paddle my feet and yes, enjoy the cool, calming waters that are flowing down into the loch below. But very refreshing after you've been walking up a Munro in these temperatures. Certainly should bring the any feet swelling back down. Very calming, very relaxing, and a nice babbling river. So back on the track and just making our way through the glen back along to the car now. Easy track really, but a couple of miles at least, if not a little bit more. So it should be probably about an hour or so before we're back at the car, and at least it's nice easy going. But it's been a really nice day, really perfect weather, very warm, and the chill's only just coming in now, just where the sun's starting to weaken as the day goes on. But yeah, generally I only had to put my t-shirt on for this very last bit, and that's probably just because I'm being a bit of a pansy, if I'm honest. I think once we start walking we'll warm up again, but yeah, it's been lovely. It was a bit chillier on the summit, mainly just because of the height and the air temperature, but couldn't have asked for better conditions really. So I'm very glad that we decided to come out, despite the fact that we'll probably feel tired for a couple of days on the back of this. But yeah, a good way to get number 63 in, and hopefully Dickie won't catch me too soon.